Yo, 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 yo. What's poppin', everybody? What's poppin'? Early stream? Kind of early, right? I mean, we like a little bit late, but at the same time, we early. Joaquin Buckley, full interview dropped today. How we liking it, boys? How we liking it? If you haven't gone to check it out yet, go watch it, go support it, run up the likes, run up the watch time for your boy. It's actually a great interview. Might be some of my best work yet. I saw Tyler Betts in the live chat during the premiere, so shout out to Tyler Betts. And then, yeah, today we got Brian Ortega speaking about his Tracy Cortez toxic relationship. So I figured we would take a look at that. Hold up. Okay. Mm. Okay, we should be locked in now. Should be locked in now. How about that dude David finally getting convicted for murdering that 14-year-old? That's crazy. I would say more, but YouTube would get on me about it. You guys know the story though with David. She was 14. He took her life, but the reason why he took her life is even crazier. The speculator reason. Charged. Yeah, my bad. My bad. You guys think he did it? You guys think he did it or what? I think he's a guilty motherfucker. I mean, the videos of him cleaning off her shoes, he did a lot of weird shit where I feel like he was bragging about it. You need to start talking gay to get a channel push. Franklin, what the hell does that mean, homie? Gotta start talking. Is there an example out there? Who made it by talking more gay? Show me the example of the gay dude who's killing it right now in MMA. What's his name? James Krause's buddy. Bonus points if someone could drop his name in the chat. Jeff Molina. I beat you to it. 100% he did. Bro sang about it. Yeah, he did. Lots of bragging about it. Lots of TikToks. Lots of songs. Yeah. Had to have involvement at least. I agree. Aniki MMA popping out in your feeds. Good video about Chaudhry. Oh yeah, Aniki MMA. I've seen him before. I never really dived into his content, but he seems to do great numbers always. I should take a look. Good video about Chaudhry. Okay. Honestly, I would love to know more about Chaudhry. Jugos, did T City give himself a Christmas gift by say he gave himself a Christmas gift by smashing for the last time and breaking up with her? LOL. No, I mean that's not how I took it, Jew. The way I took it was he said he gave himself a Christmas present by kicking her out on Christmas. On Christmas, he said, "You got to go." I'm drinking on a Bang, but there's no creatine in Bang, so I put some creatine in my cup, and then all the bubbles brought the creatine to the top, so now it's like all over the rim of the glass. You know, like for a margarita when you put the sugar on the rim? We're rocking a creatine rim right now. It's kind of bothering me. I just got to get rid of it. All right. So, shout out to Tyler Betts for being first in the chat. Shout out to you, homie. T-City giving us the low on Tracy Cortez. Yes, he is Bloodhound. So we're going to watch it in a minute here. I just stick to TRT and coffee. Honestly, I mean, if you had TRT, there's no need for no creatine, really. I mean, you could use it, but TRT far exceeds the benefits of creatine. Creatine, good for the brain, though. Yeah. Good for the brain. Anti-carcinogenic. Obviously gives you more endurance in the gym. So, it's good for cardio as well. Creatine's great. LMFAO, I'm not trying to throw a curveball on you. No, it's all good, homie. It's all good. My toxic ass could have kept my toxic ass could have kept or put up with the craziness as long as I could too. Jude, did you type that wrong? My toxic ass could have put up with the craziness as long as I could too. Oh, no, you're saying you would have put up with the craziness as long as you can. Yeah. I know. Brian's kind of funny, bro. Brian's kind of funny. He just like us, you know. I'm sure there's some people who are actually gonna hate on Brian. But T said he said sex is jacking off in a woman. Did he say that? I think he did say that. I heard that somewhere. I forgot that Brian's the one who said it, but I feel like I heard that today. Sex is jacking off in a woman. That's crazy, though. That's not true at all. Jacking off, like, what the fuck? Is that what sex is to Brian, bro? Sex is jacking off in a woman is crazy. Someone else said it. Brian didn't say that. Did Brian say that? Yeah, but just to speak on the Brian Ortega situation real quick before we get into it so we can all kind of operate on it on a funny tip. Let's speak about it, right? I like to speak about it before we watch it. So Brian, he went on Dominic Cruz's podcast and Dominic Cruz asked him about his toxic relationship with Tracy. So he opened up about it. And I mean, in a nutshell, here's the cliff notes. Brian Ortega speaks on his toxic relationship with Tracy Cortez. And revealed his own mother stopped talking to him after he ignored her warnings. He also claims she would argue with him until 3 to 4 a.m. over BS during training camps, specifically the Volkanovski one. He was like, that shit was hell, bro. So, you know, Brian told Dominic Cruz, he goes, my mom was like, the worst thing that could happen to a mom is to see your son with someone like that. So, I mean, these quotes are nasty, bro. These quotes are nasty. My mom was like, the worst thing that could happen to a mom is to see your son with something like that. That's a nasty quote. Nasty. Brian refers to her as homegirl throughout the whole thing. Just homegirl. You know, just homegirl. He calls out Pereira, you know, for putting her up on a pedestal, right? And inflating the market like we've been talked about on this channel several times. I want you guys to see something here. Look at the lack of grip in her fingertips. I mean, just fingers fully extended while they're walking in front of the cameras for his fight. It's like, Tracy, can you fake the funk a little bit? Super resting bitch face. Just couldn't be more pissed off at Brian. You got Henner in the background knowing these two are fighting. You know, the whole thing just smells, just stinks. So, Yeah, Brian speaks about it. He also like left his family. He had a girl, right? And then he had 2 kids with this girl. He left them. He left them. He wanted to kind of live the bachelor lifestyle. Found Tracy, and shit went south real quick. He was like, "Yeah, I knew like 4 months in that this relationship was toxic, but I had too much pride. I didn't want to like break up with her because of everybody who was talking shit to me, telling me it was gonna fail. You know, if we broke up, they would have been right. So I stuck with her out of spite. I put up with it as long as I possibly could. I mean, that's super toxic. That's like the most toxic shit ever from the get go. You know, from the get go. And then he ended up back with his wife and his kids. Uh, Also, Brian, you know, he did this little experience where he became super Christian. He went on this camp. Never forget that, right? People think that he's like brainwashed, a part of some like religious cult a little bit. And Dominic Cruz too, same thing. They think that Dominic Cruz is part of some like religious cult in Las Vegas, right? Along with like Khalil Roundtree and these other people. Sean Strickland spoke about it a lot with Khalil Roundtree, but Dominic Cruz belongs to it, and I think, you know, Brian belongs to it too to some degree. I couldn't tell during this podcast if they were like church partners or not, but the way Dominic talks is very brainwashy. Very brainwashy. It's like you almost can't have an opinion when you speak to Dominic. You can only speak in terms of like how he perceives the world. Like there's no even exchange of ideas with Dominic Cruz necessarily. Unless you bring something to him that he hasn't thought about before. Then he might be able to like, you know, but if not, he's only going to exchange his ideas. And if yours counter his, there's no way he's going to go on your side. Um and that's about it. That's about it. Brian ended up back with his wife and 2 kids after he broke up with Tracy, and he kind of happy now. But I mean, yikes, Brian. Also, during this podcast, Brian talked about being addicted to like opioids a little bit in tall cans. And that's why he kind of like us. Who would have thought that Brian was addicted to tall cans and opioids during like back-to-back surgeries? It does sound like a good time. You know, he had his money all
Like
saved
my
up. He's
note.
like, I could have not worked for like 4 years, bro. Like I was chilling, like big chilling, like staying home from school every day chilling. Brian was staying home from school every day chilling. Brian was like chilling, like you know how when you graduate from high school and if you don't go to college or something, you got nothing to do. Brian was living that like just graduated high school, not going to college, unemployed lifestyle, bottomless pockets, living in a big old house by himself. Homie was door dashing every day, paying $30 a meal, just getting loaded off of tall cans and fucking opioids. That now listen, that ain't no cosign. Um, and then also Brian says that like he would get so zooted and booted off of these tall cans and opioids that he'd be like, it'd be like 3 days later and he'd be like, oh shit, I need to eat. Like 3 fucking days later, this guy goes, oh shit, I need to eat. Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't want to use the word in vain. Jesus Criminy. Jeez Louise. Shout out to Brian Ortega though. His dad comes through to like shout him out. I'd co-sign that. Shout out Bloodhound. His dad comes through to show him off to his homie, right? His dad's got his homie with him, and he's like driving by Brian's house. We all know this story, right? If you got your pops or something like that. So Brian's pops driving like around Brian's neighborhood, just like looping through with the homie. And then he's like, "Hey, Brian lives over here. Let's go see my son Brian." Right? He wants to kind of flex that, like, you know, we come from the hood, the ghetto, but look where my son made it. You know, the UFC fighter. He got a key to Brian's house. He pulls into Brian's house. Brian just like zooted off the fucking, you know, tall cans and opioids or recovering from the night before or something. He just passed out in his bed, butt naked, he said. And then his dad's like, oh, Brian's sleeping. Like, let's get out of here. But apparently, like, the house was trashed too and shit like that. I'm telling you, Brian was living that just graduated high school, no college, you know, uh, no job, and rich ass parents lifestyle. But he earned it. I mean, I guess he earned it. You know, he earned it. He said he saved up all of his money, never spent it lavishly. So he was you know, stockpiled with money for like 4 years if he needed it. But you know, obviously he returned to the octagon and shit like that, so he was fine. But homie was big chill, and I'm kind of envious. You know, I wish I could big chill like that. That would take off so much stress from my life. But hey, you know what I mean? We all got to put in that work. So one day, one day I could sit at home with my feet up. I'm trolling, but taking opioids and sipping on tall cans like Brian Ortega. One day. One day. All right.
I mean,
So I just
can we
kind of want to do the whole segment with you guys too. So I'm pulling up the YouTube video. Super toxic. Tracy is fine but crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or she's not even fine, gal, but if you think so, then you think so. Everybody has different opinions. But I just like to always say, like, let you guys know that I don't think she is so that, other people feel comfortable admitting that she's not fine. You know? She the type to accuse you of looking at another chick every 5 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine what Tracy Cortez was bitching about, Jew. I honestly couldn't imagine. I'm trying to think of something she might have been bitching about. She would though. She's like the type to be like she's the type to think that being toxic is cute, Jew. That's what I gather from Tracy. She's the type to exactly as I just said it. She thinks that being toxic is cute, and really being toxic is exhausting, bro. So like all that time she spent thinking she was being cute. Oh, don't look at her, whatever the fuck, right? Oh, go, can you go get this for me? Can you go get that for me? Can you be my little pet? It's like, bro, Brian was probably exhausted. He's like, bro, what the fuck I'm doing all this shit for you for? I'm the one who fought for titles in the UFC. The fuck I'm simping for you for? But Brian dug himself in such a deep hole. He's like, fuck, I guess I gotta simp for her for as long as possible. For as long as possible before I wave the white flag. Because I just left my wife and my kids. My mom don't even fuck with me no more. I'm probably gonna be due for some surgery soon. I need somebody to wipe my ass. Eric Gould says, sounds like something Nick Fuentes would say. What? Oh, sex is like jacking off in a woman. That's a crazy fucking statement. Sex is like jacking off in a woman. I emphatically disagree, by the way. What does that even mean, jacking off in a woman? That's the craziest statement ever, bro. There was a channel I used to watch called Full Guard Frenzy. The channel owner eventually went trans and started talking about gay stuff more than MMA. Craziest bait and switch ever. Wow. Wow. Only in MMA you'll get that, though. I imagine that exists more than you'd imagine. Not that they publicize themselves, but I bet you there's a lot of fans in MMA who went from straight to trans or some weird shit like that. I told you guys, UFC is so bad right now. People are doing crazy things. New AI's over here about to break his what's the word? When you don't have sex. He's about to break that. Because he got nothing to distract him. What's up, bro? I heard he was taking dating advice from Darren Till at that time. Darren Till also went off on Baldy, Dana White, so we're going to speak about that too. But Darren went off on Dana. So we got a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Let me just kind of, yap for a little bit. I ain't talked to nobody all day, boys. You guys are the people I get to talk to, so let me just continue to yap a little bit. Who am I talking about again? Super toxic. Wait, nah, Dom and Roundtree are in 1,000% in a cult, but it's not the same one T City's in. Dominic Khalil, one based out of Las Vegas. That's along the lines of a Scientology belief. Okay. The way Dominic talks is super brainwashy. That's all I could say. Darren Till, he went off on Baldy, Dana White, and it's everything we've been talking about. Then Ariel tries to hop on his bandwagon like he cares about the sport, and I just don't trust it. It's a gut feeling with Ariel, so we're going to play that as well. But also, Ariel had something to say about, like, I gotta find the tweet, but I gotta react to it because we say the opposite things, me and that guy. We got the most opposite beliefs of the sport ever. It's crazy. Pisces so soft, i.e., you're retarded. Fire and water sign don't mix. Wish T City and Bryce Mitchell would have fought before Bryce went down. Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, Tyler Betts, T City. I mean, he got Bryce covered across the board, homie. With the grappling and with the striking. Just call it boxing and jits, bro. T City got Bryce covered across the board. Isn't that crazy? It's kind of proof that like UFC fighters used to be better. Brian used to be like considered one-dimensional, bro. Like at the time Brian came up, people were like, "Oh, this guy, ooh, yikes." How's this guy gonna do? And Brian really proved himself. But it's like if Brian was considered one-dimensional when he was younger, then like what is Bryce Mitchell, right? And then it's like, how can that's the norm of the UFC these days. And again, I know Bryce Mitchell's funny, but listen, we're speaking about fighting, so let's not blur the lines. You could be funny and suck at fighting, just like Yuri Prohaska. I'm trolling a little bit, but I'm also being honest. And it's just to say, like, I just hate the disingenuous like glaze for the goofy fighters. Not to say Tyler Betts is doing that. I'm just yapping. But I just hear me out on that one. Like I said, T City got Bryce Mitchell covered across the board. Okay, when T City came into the UFC, and in general throughout his UFC career, he's always kind of been considered somewhat one-dimensional. And he's pretty good. But then it's like Bryce Mitchell, he got no striking at all, like zero. He only got grappling, and it's mid at that. It's not even better than T City's. So it's just like, what is Bryce Mitchell? And it shows the regression of the UFC a little bit. There's a bit of a regression in the talent. I feel, or apparently all the billionaires in the world follow two things: astrology and homeopathy. Oh, interesting. Interesting, Franklin. I don't know what I would do with astrology and homeopathy. I feel with Brian, he never evolved with the current MMA skill set. But again, if he never evolved, Jew, if Brian never evolved, which there might be some truth to that. He's a bit outdated. But then it's like, how bad does Bryce Mitchell suck? You feel me on that, or does anyone think I'm crazy? T City definitely improved his striking in his later years, right before the Volk fight. He did, and he always actually had some crisp boxing from the beginning too. But yeah, exactly as I put it. I just am basically saying, like, why don't people speak about Bryce Mitchell's lack of skill set more? Like, he's actually not that good of a fighter. He hate to say it. I'm not even going to explain it. You guys should know. Why would I just voluntarily want to hate on Bryce? I'm just being honest. Okay, let's watch this, though. And then we'll get into the Darren Till going off on Dana White. And then we'll go to the video I was looking for of Ariel where he was speaking about the landscape of the UFC. What's up with Bryce? Are UFC icing him out? Honestly, I don't know. He had that fight with Saeed Nurmagomedov, right? Has he fought since then? By the way, before we get started on this video, if you've made it this far in the stream and you have not liked it, please run up the likes on the video. And then if you're not subscribed to the stream, subscribe. So, because your average guy isn't better than Bryce Mitchell. And isn't that an indoctrination of the level of the sport? If you get me, you get me. But these things are proving my points a little bit. And I'm not saying you guys are trying to counter my point. But it's like, Jew says Brian never evolved with the MMA skill set. And I'm like, well, if Brian never evolved with the MMA skill set, then then what the fuck is Bryce Mitchell? And then Cupcake goes, because your average guy isn't better than Bryce Mitchell. And it's like, well, shit, if your average guy isn't better than Bryce Mitchell, then what is the state of the UFC right now? you know? And it goes to the point we are speaking about when it's like, these new owners coming in and watering down the product. The competition level is not the same. I even think to some degree, Contender Series and this whole scam, this is a deeper level thought. Okay, so allow me. Because there's been a battle, me and then the real fans. I'm gonna use Soda Pop for this one. Shout out to Soda Pop. You're gonna help out my point. Soda Pop, he's a firm believer of Dana White Contender Series. Firm believer. I've always, we've been on record on this stream several times. I'm a firm believer actually of the Ultimate Fighter. I believe if you could win the Ultimate Fighter, it's an indication of, how good of a fighter you are. You can make it through, right, a whole month of what's it called? Being on a show, isolated from technology, your family, everything but fighting, right? 2 training sessions, morning and night, with active UFC champions at times, or just great fighters from the UFC in general. Guys like DC, Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic, Uriah Faber, Michael Bisping. These are all coaches from the UFC. So they actually coach you. Successful UFC guys coach you twice a day. Okay. And they have teams that help coach you. There are UFC caliber coaches who help them win titles and shit like that. Okay. So you get my point. I'm going to explain this pretty deeply real quick. And then, not only that, but you got to fight multiple times. It's a tournament for the Ultimate Fighter. So you got to make weight and fight and win. And then you got to make it to the big show, right? Where everybody's going to have their eyes on you. You get a debut on a real card. And then, if you win, you get a $100,000 contract with the UFC. So there's all this levels of pressure, right? You also live with your opponent. Okay. When who you're going to fight, you're going to live with him while you're on the show. So you could be beefing. So this just creates a rock solid mindset. You got to learn from the best active fighters at the current time. I mean, it couldn't be a better product to evolve fighters, the Ultimate Fighter, right? Now I'm contrasting that to Dana White Contender Series because a lot of people will say, well, Dana White Contender Series is better than Tough. Tough sucks now. Tough sucks now. Dana White Contender Series is better. That toxic motherfucker who shouldn't be speaking about the sport when it comes to, how it's run, Ariel. Okay, Ariel thinks that Contender Series is better than Tough. Tough sucks, get rid of Tough. Again, imagine if this dude ran the sport. We would be in such a bad state. We'd be in an even worse state. But I say all that to say, got fans like Soda Pop. They really like Dana White Contender Series. Now, what is Dana White Contender Series? Well, you sign a guy who's got like a mediocre record, oftentimes not even champions on the regional scene, right? You get guys from Alaska and shit like that, random places. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But it's a one-time thing. So boom, you get an impressive performance. You get a contract just like that. Let me give you an example, right? And this is going to be shady a little bit, but I don't mean it to be shady. It's his fight week too, so shout out to him. I don't mean it. I don't mean the disrespect, okay? But I just want to label the differences for you guys real quick between a guy who gets a contract off Contender Series and a guy who gets a contract off of Tough. Okay, Tough means you could be a future champion in the sport. You're breeding that. You're going to be a top-ranked contender soon. Nate Diaz, Kelvin Gastelum, Michael Bisping. The list goes on for Tough champions. Matt Serra. I don't want to go over it. You guys can do the research on your own time. But, that's what it shows. When you win on Dana White Contender Series and you get a contract, this is like the level of like an SD Dumas, right? So I just want you guys, but then people will say like, oh, Dana White Contender Series, it brings out the greatest talent ever. But it's like you guys completely ignore that. Like for every Sean O'Malley or Jamal Hill, there's like a million SD Dumases and worser that they sign. SD's still in the UFC. There's so many guys that got signed after SD that are gone now. Right? So it's like, I don't think Contender Series is the right thing for the UFC. They will always toxically build it up. Dana's always going to say, this is great. This is amazing. And you guys eat it up. But I actually think it's probably killing the sport. I think that's why, going back to the main thing that got this started for me, speaking about Bryce Mitchell, right, not being that good. The average guy isn't even better than Bryce Mitchell. It's because of fucking Contender Series, bro. And that type of shit. So a big thought there, but it needed to be said a little bit. you know. And okay, here's another thing, right? It's cheaper. It's cheaper to do Contender Series. You get more signees, right? Than you do off of Tough. For Tough, it's more of an investment. There's more that goes into it. It takes longer to get the guy, to debut on the product, which is the big show. With Contender Series, it's super quick, mainstreamed, right? It shoots you right through. And so, in my opinion, like, Contender Series is watering down the sport. And then Dana White got his little chart of like, oh, this guy's from Contender Series, this guy's from Contender Series. That's all propaganda. That's just to make it seem more important than it is. The fact that he highlights it. He highlights it to make it seem more important. Honestly. The real marker should be from tough winner. You're signed off Contender Series. Who gives a fuck? You won one fight against a guy nobody ever knew existed. You showed up on the night. Big whoop. So many guys show up on nights and then their careers turn out to just be utter shit. So that's just to speak on, even back to what we were saying the other day when Ari Emanuel and these guys are ruining the UFC. I think that this Contender Series has something to do with it. It's like, these big wigs come in and they're like, oh, this is perfect. Now we don't have to spend money on plane tickets to go travel to Alaska, and all this other shit. Like, I don't know. I got to think about that one more because it's like somebody got to fly out. They're paying for the fighters to fly to Las Vegas. There's no difference paying for Mick Maynard to fly across the world. But it's like, I don't know. It's just laziness. I think that really they should be scouting, right? Going to events, signing guys from there. But they're barely even doing that anymore. They're doing that less and less. You got to see the atmosphere. You got to see what these fighters bring. You got to see what these fighters have created. You can't see anything like that when, you bring them into the apex. And best believe when you go to these regional shows, you do see something like that. You do see, oh, this is the guy. Oh, wow, this is the guy that everybody's here for tonight. Oh, and he's just a young kid. Like, he's not even the main event, but damn, everybody's here for him. He got a little bit of hype to him. Oh, this kid got some swag to him. Oh, he did good against his opponent. Let's see what he could do. But that's not even an indication like, sign him to the UFC right away. But if he were to fight on Dana White Contender Series, it is. You got that guy Cody Steele, who kind of sucks. He got signed off Contender Series, and the guy who he beat, Chase and Blair, is even worse. And if you're hardcore, you know the deal. But it's like, that's a perfect example right there of like Chase and Blair even getting an opportunity to fight for a UFC contract is like, yikes. Your average male UFC fan isn't getting paid to fight in the octagon. They're just attending events and tuning in to watch what are supposed to be the highest level MMA talent fight in the octagon. Well, of course. Eric, what in the chat GPT chat was that right there, homie? Your average male UFC fan isn't getting paid to fight in the octagon. I mean, the most obvious statement ever. They're just attending events and tuning in to watch what are supposed to be the highest level MMA talent fight in the. Oh, well, of course they are. See, you could say that with any sport, Eric. Baseball, football. Your average male NFL fan isn't getting paid to play in the NFL. He's just attending events and tuning in to watch what's supposed to be the highest level of football talent. Oh, responding to Cupcake. I mean, your average male UFC fan would still get beat up by Bryce Mitchell. So really, it's more saying something about fan base and how we all are smaller and weaker. Oh, well, I do get Cupcake's point too, I guess, because the young kids, it's hard for them to fathom what these UFC fighters do. They do put them up on a pedestal, but when you grow up, you're like, what these guys do isn't that hard. It's not, bro. It's not. I'm so sick of the narrative that like because you fight, you just deserve just the utmost respect. It's like, dude, please. If you're a good fighter, you deserve a lot of respect. But just because you fucking fought, bro, get the fuck out of my face. I'm not respecting you at all. I don't give a fuck. Contender Series is picking up regional talent too early and trying to turn them into stars. That's part of the problem, Eric. That is part of the problem. Contender Series is picking up regional talent too early. Even signing Gable, bro, that's too early. Too early to sign Gable. Perfecto goes, yo, I'm shitty. I missed the blunt stream last night. Yeah, you did, homie. You did. You did. That's all right, though. Seems like you caught the replay. Perfecto. So. Cupcake goes, you get me. Yeah, of course. When you're a 16-year-old or even like an 18-year-old, Cupcake, even when you're 20, these guys are still on big pedestals. So, like, yeah, the average UFC fan can't see it. They have no clue. I mean, think about this, guys. Was anyone ever a WWE fan? I used to be a big WWE fan when I was a young buck, okay? And I didn't know that it was fake fighting. People used to always say it's fake, and I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? How do you know it's fake? This looks pretty real to me, right? And it was always debated. People will actually debate whether or not wrestling's fake or not. And until I started watching the UFC, then I went back to watch WWE a couple years later or something. I was like, damn, this shit is so fake. This shit is so bad. So, that's how the UFC kind of is. In a way, it's like, because it doesn't exist in the promotion right now, the great talent, it's so few and far between. There's only a handful of guys who are actually good in the UFC. It's like the fans don't know what they're missing out on. The fans really don't know, because I was tricked when I was a young buck and I had no clue what fighting was. I thought the WWE was real fighting. I couldn't tell you otherwise because I never saw otherwise. Back then it was better, though. If you're talking about WWE, Jew, that's fine. That's fine. The point still stands. I know what you might be trying to talk about. You might be talking about the WWE is lifeless now, and honestly, you got to go to Ariel for that. I ain't your WWE guy no more. Ariel been bitching and moaning about how the WWE is soulless now. You guys really think I watched WrestleMania? Please. Couldn't have been bothered. Couldn't have cared less. But no, the point still stands about, like, I used to think the WWE was real. And that's why a lot of these young buck fans, they're 20 years old, they turn on the UFC, they see the shit product, and they're like, damn, that was some good shit. It's like, bro, you don't even know. You don't even know, what these guys could truly be capable of and how much you're getting skimped on. You don't even know. There's probably way better guys that are fighting right now. The UFC ain't signing no more Francis and Ngannou's. Remember when they signed Francis and shit? UFC ain't signed a Francis and Ngannou in so fucking long, bro. Okay, that's been a big tangent. And that's also going to piece into when I talk about Darren Till, and him calling out Baldy Dana White. So let's get into everything. We've been 45 minutes. I've just been yapping. WWE is corny as fuck now. Legitimately some of the worst television I've ever seen. Yeah. I got, you know what I mean? Good to know, Eric. Good to know. Fuck the WWE, bro. We ain't tripping about the WWE, homie. Yeah. I know a lot of people do, but me, I'm like, bro. DC kind of like, I laugh at DC in my mind. I see DC tripping out over the WWE. I'm like, grown ass man with kids. Acting like a little boy out there, front row in the WWE. Oh my God. Roman Reigns. He didn't win the Royal Rumble. It's like, bro, what the hell is going on here? Grown ass man. Grown ass man tripping about Roman Reigns. Grown ass man, former 2-division champion, Olympian, NCAA runner up, All American, Daniel Cormier, fangirling out about Roman Reigns. LOL sucks so bad now. Yeah, shit. That's why I watch the UFC, and the UFC ain't no better. It's TKO, bro. Boys, it's TKO. So you're telling me, what's, so and so is lifeless now. The WWE's lifeless now. The UFC lifeless now too. It's TKO, bro. I told you guys those dudes are killing the sport. They're just killing it. And speaking of that, I did want to just mention something. It's funny to me because Ariel comes off as critical, and he's like, the WWE is soulless. You know, it's lifeless, and it's like the UFC is lifeless, guys. I think he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, I just allow me to say that, and you guys need to perk your fucking ears up right now and listen. Okay, I think that that shit is Ariel being a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, I don't know for sure, but we should speculate on that because that's one of the laws of power is to like it's the same thing you guys are talking about. You know, with Aiden Ross, when I said Aiden, you know, he downs what his people do to that part of the world, right? And you guys are like, well, he's probably just it's probably like fake. He's probably doing that to gain the trust of the masses. I think Ariel doing the same thing. You know, Ariel backs the owners of UFC and TKO and WWE and shit like that. Ariel backs all that, talking about it's lifeless. He's just trying to get a little bit of your guys' trust, and he's gonna rip it out from under you. That's what he's gonna do. So I hope you guys don't buy it when Ariel speaks about WWE's lifeless now. He could care less, bro. He's one of them. He's fucking one of them. And we're gonna get into that later. But anyway, let's continue now. You know, Brian Ortega is gonna speak about Tracy Cortez, toxic relationship, him being a dumbass. Let's listen to it.
Talk a little bit about some of the relationships that you had maybe during this thing. I mean, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that one, right?
Which one?
Everybody wants to know what was actually going on with you and Cortez during this time, man.
Oh, bro.
You know, that was a lot. That was hard, wasn't it?
That was rough.
And that's where my coach would have said, man, just get the fuck out of there.
Well, when I left,
he might have been right on that one.
Well, put it this way.
Who knows?
And not to sound bad, right? But like, I think she got lucky at the right time in my life. I finally left all these coaches, all these relationships that I had for forever. Like I started a brand new slate, like things, I started listening to myself. And then I had, you know, the kids and my wife now, right? But we're boyfriend, girlfriend. And
at this time you guys were?
Now we are, but before we weren't. It was just boyfriend, girlfriend, two kids, trying to make it work. But again, when I listened to these certain teachings, we kind of just grew apart.
What teachings? When you listen to the certain mentors?
Mentors, like,
you mean?
bro, go.
Bro got red pilled by Andrew Tate. He don't want to admit it, but he got straight red pilled by Andrew Tate. That's so fucking funny. That's so funny. He's like telling his girl to do the fucking dishes. I want to go fuck 5 bad bitches and you better be okay with it because I made all this bread being a UFC fighter. I swear that's what Brian Ortega thought. You know, Andrew Tate came across his timeline and he's like, damn, why aren't I fucking more bad bitches? I'm a UFC fighter. I'm providing for my girl. And then she's like, nah, I ain't going for it. And he's like, fine, I'll leave. I'll leave. He's like, fine, I'll leave. And then he goes and he gets with Tracy Cortez. He goes and gets in another relationship. This fucking simp, though. Bro is us. He is us low-key, Jew. He is us low-key. Hey, it takes one to know one, Jew. It takes one to fucking know one. But, the funny thing is like he does all this, right? He wants to go fuck a bunch of bad bitches. Then he goes and gets with the you know, Queen Bee jealous chola herself. You know, Tracy Cortez, you know, toxic, jealous, and he wifes her up. She moves in with him. It's like, bro, I thought you wanted to go fuck bad bitches. What the hell is going on here? We've all been there. Exactly. Hey, shout out to Zach Spicer. First time commenting, watched many of your streams these last couple months. Keep it up, good stuff. We don't agree on everything, but I still love the content. Do you golf at all? I mean, yeah, I've golfed before, homie. I used to work at a golf course, actually. I used to work at a hotel that was a golf course in Laguna Beach. So we could golf for free. It's a 9-round golf course. So yeah, I've golfed quite a bit, homie. Quite a bit. I got some golf clubs and everything like that. Bro is us for sure. Yeah, shout out Brian. We had to isolate that. He got red pilled by Andrew Tate. We've been there. We all heard Andrew Tate's teachings and been like, shit, why aren't I fucking no more bad bitches? Hilarious how he prefaces this whole thing by saying she got lucky. She did get lucky. She did get lucky. He inflated the fucking market. She did get lucky. You know, she got lucky with Pereira too. Everybody who says she's like super bad and like, you know, ugh, bro, she's not. She doesn't deserve guys like Brian. You know, stick up for your own. We team Brian, bro. She don't deserve us. We too good for her. But Brian Ortega's woman, the wife that he left for Tracy, she seems like a real one. Like you know, she's too good for him, to be honest with you. Brian's wife now, she too good for him. Him and his fucking opioid tall can sipping ass. I'm trolling. We like Brian.
Why are you gonna be with your family? You're soft. I'm like, yo, I'm not.
But wait, last thing I just want to say, Zach Spicer, I hope you are subscribed, homie. I hope you're subscribed. Please subscribe if not already. And even if we disagree on the content, homie, you know, the point is that I come on here and I give it my best, you know, my best take, right? And I open up a perspective for you to kind of like consider. You don't got to agree, but I think it's kind of fun to hear other people's opinions on how they see things and then, you know, form your own opinion, right? You got to be able to hear countering opinions to form your own sometimes. And maybe you meet in the middle. So maybe you don't agree with everything I say. Maybe you agree with some things I say. But shout out to you, homie. Thanks for commenting, Mr. Zach Spicer. I personally think Brian is lame as hell. Damn, perfecto. Okay. Tracy better without all the makeup. Tracy's crazy. You think she's better without all the makeup? She got played by Pereira. She ain't getting no lucky. That's embarrassing. Well, she did get played by Pereira, but she got lucky with Brian. Brian moved her in. Brian straight moved her in.
In camp, it doesn't matter. Go, you know, go live your life. You're young.
Yep,
so
you're young. Keep having sex with people. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah, be a player. Yep. Be this.
Why
be
is it that the mentors think that's the way?
Because they try to live, in my opinion, through us. They're trying to do what they wish they did or relive what they lived through us on another scale.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, well, I was just a player, but this guy's got, you know, a name to him and this, and like, I wonder what he can do if I was. And then they start like vicariously living through you.
I agree with you.
And then they see it like, hey, and they talk story with you. They talk story like, yo, what's up, bro? I was over here and I went to LA and
he's soft.
These LA models and this and that. Like, oh hell yeah, bro. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Brian's like, yeah.
No more regular girls. Get like the elite girls or whatever. You're like, dude, like, part of me in the beginning was like,
kind of doesn't feel right.
I do miss my kids and I do want to be home, but like, you know, like, all right, like, I'm gonna listen to you.
No, I get it, because they do kind of walk like that. These people do walk us through the scary times, man. And I want to trust somebody besides myself.
Yeah.
Right.
And
shit.
But yeah, bro, like all that happened, and when I started doing things my own, then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start from scratch. I messed everything up, and I guess my understanding of the thing was like, there's no fixing this, right? She went this way far and I went this way far, and then we're so far away from each other that even when I did try to make it work finally, I'm like, she wasn't having it. We go on a date and you know, my girl now, she's like, we just sit there, bro, and it was like really awkward.
Yeah, it sounds.
And we go to the movies and like food, and it was like, I'm like, buy you flour. Like, I'm trying to figure it out, and it's nothing. And so then I was like, you know what? I messed this up. There's no going back. Got it. Goodbye. And then I meet, you know, homegirl, and then I was like, well, I can start from scratch. I think she understands the same life that I live.
Talking about Cortez.
Yeah, like she understands the life, right? Like,
it makes sense because you guys both fight.
Yeah, and everyone was feeding all that, like, dude, power couple and this and that, and you're like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah, and it's worth a try.
And then shortly into that, I was like, damn, I fucked up. But then because I already left the kids, left the family, like, it was like, damn,
even more weight.
I already know if like I dump her right now, everyone's gonna laugh at me.
Damn.
So it was the ego again. I was like, no, don't let people laugh at me. So I'm gonna put up with all this craziness.
Even though you knew.
Yeah, bro. I need 4 months in. Yeah. And I was like, and then it just slowly but surely, then I found what the male did, and then what a woman does to you. And you're like, oh shit, like
They're
this,
powerful.
it's a different kind of game here.
No, they're powerful.
Yeah, it's a different game. And yeah, finally I had enough. And you know, it was like, yo man, you gotta go. And then yeah, I gave myself a Christmas present and just said you gotta leave on Christmas. Yeah.
You said a Christmas present.
Bro.
So you can laugh about it and look at it.
I can
now.
laugh now, but you know,
It was
like
hard. Though. It's hard going
no,
through that.
bro,
The
for
hardest
sure it was
shit ever,
hard.
right? And there's a
Because
lot of people that could be where you're at in their careers, like going through a relationship, not knowing what to do. I love what you said about the ego and other people's opinions of you made you make your own decision of yourself. We all do this.
And then yeah, and by that time, yeah, so I let go of the people that were influencing me bad, and the people who were good influences. Like my mom, my family. The second they saw that I was a homegirl, they're like, "Yo, we don't want no part of you." They're like, "We're disappointed in you." And at first, I was like, "You're just mad, like, cause I left." They're like, "No, bro, like you fucked up."
Mm.
My mom was like, "The worst thing that can happen to my mom is to see her son with someone like that." And at that time, I thought she was just being a hater, right? And then as I started living that kind of life, she was.
I can't help it, but it's like Brian really thought he had a bad bitch in Tracy. He's going against his own mother, bro. You're mad. You're a hater, bro. She ain't no hater. Your mom ain't no hater, bro. You're literally going against your mom, which is fine. You can go against your mom, but it's like, bro, you think your mom's hating on you because of Tracy? Like, Tracy ain't that bad to where she's gonna make your mom a hater. All right, that's all I'm trying to say. You know, you need a much badder bitch to get your mom to be hating than a Tracy Cortez. You know, your mom might be hating if it's some badass like 21, 22-year-old. Yeah, she might be hating then. She's too young for you. You guys have nothing in common. Whatever the case, right? But I mean, Tracy, nah, she was just keeping it a buck with you, Brian. And now you know it. And now you know it. Disowning him is crazy. She says, we don't want no parts of you. You with her? See you later.
Like, son, you'll never be at peace. She goes, who that girl is, like, can she change? I hope she does. But who she is now, you'll never be at peace. And as life started happening, I was like, yeah, you're right. I was never at peace. Always like training camps were horrible. Like the Volkanovski fight, horrible. Arguing or just dumb nonsense over like 3, 4 in the morning. And I was like, bro, this girl's like, and finally, yo, get out of here.
Yeah.
Go back to Arizona, like leave. And she wouldn't leave. And I'm like, oh damn, this is crazy. And I think this is like the first time I'm kind of like saying anything about that, right? I've kind of always kept my mouth shut, but yeah, it wasn't for me. And I think now, like guys like even Alex Pereira, like all these people, they're starting to realize that, like, okay, I put her on a pedestal and the world's like, oh my God. And then now that they're realizing who she is, they're like, oh, never mind.
Ooh. They're like, oh, never mind. I mean, he straight cooked her, though. He straight cooked her. Bringing up the Pereira thing. Now they realize who she is, and they're like, never mind. You know, validating that he's like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You know, it was her. It was her. And Pereira could even, you know, vouch for me now, since it didn't work out with them either. Flee from lust, boys. Shit, easier said than done, all Cupcake. Easier said than done. That's like the $1 million, you know, piece of advice right there. Not flee yourself from lust, but the secret to how to do that. That's like the $1 million piece of advice. People out here doing all kinds of courses and shit like that. It's like, shit, that might be the first course you want to do. That's like the fucking, you figure that out, you might have figured out the secret to life. I don't know. Giving into lust will make you do rash things. It's crazy though, because those things you can't like, Cupcake. Those are those are some of the funnest moments you look back on. The most memorable moments is given into the lust sometimes. That's why it's a difficult thing. That's why it's a difficult thing. You want stories, you want lore, you want somewhat. I mean, this sounds crazy, but it's like you want, your peers to be of somewhat envy of you. Well, then shit, it's a tough one. I'm not saying, it's all right. I'm just saying, that's why people, you know, they don't flee from lust, because there's a lot that comes with chasing it. I mean, look at all the kids who are all over clavicular. I mean, you guys think I'm crazy for saying it. If anyone does, it's like, bro, there's clavicular streams right now playing out in real time. You know, all these kids have extra respect for him because he's able to, like, put on this image like he's got game and he gets girls. So obviously, if you flee yourself from lust, you can't even put that image out. You feel me? That's what I'm trying to say. So that whole concept is very, very intricate. HT says, "Hey Jay, what's poppin', HT?" And then Tyler Betts, all-time chats right now saying, "Low-key, that's hella toxic. I'm gonna make you remember this day every year on Christmas." The day you almost had Captain T City. Yeah, he's like, every day on Christmas. Chris, you're never gonna enjoy a Christmas again in your life. That was the Ortega get back, wasn't it, Tyler Betts? He's laying up at night. She pissing him off. He's like, I want to break up with her tomorrow. And he's like, nah, Christmas just around the corner. I could wait 5 more days. I waited another 6 months after I knew on the 4th month that this bitch was toxic. I could wait 5 more days. I'm going to take away her Christmas celebration for life. I'm finna break up with her on Christmas. She'll never have another good Christmas again, because for all of eternity, she's going to think about me on the 25th of December. Yeah, that's Brian Ortega. Dude, toxic as hell. He's not really saying it, but we all know now. We all know now that's exactly what he was thinking. It can't be any other thought. That's exactly what he was thinking. We just tapped into his mind. And that's the story. Whether Brian ever denies that story or not, that's the story. That's just the story now. Can't get over the fact he waited till Christmas Day to dump her, LOL. No, that he did wait. He waited. He said, fuck her. She ain't never gonna enjoy a Christmas again. Not on my watch. Shout out JC Ortega from the same city as me, San Pedro, California. Shout out to Malcolm. Malcolm straight out of San Pedro, just like Brian Ortega. I mean, those are some rough parts for those that don't know. I struggle daily with lust. It's distracting. It is distracting. It is distracting. Way easier said than done, but that's why God says run from it. God does say that. And that means to turn that energy and focus towards something else, also called transmutation. Yeah. No, you're right. It's super simple, actually. I mean, when you free yourself from the lust, you do turn that energy into something else. And to what Perfecto said, you're able to turn that energy into something else because you're not distracted anymore. People don't often talk about what comes with chasing lust, and it's a lot of distraction. It's a lot of insecurity, right? It's a lot of emotional roller coasters, so to speak. Uncertainty, right? I mean, you don't want your sneaky link to fucking all of a sudden ghost you, right? So there's a lot that comes with it, even just at the smallest level, which is that. Now you got to worry about getting a new sneaky link. You feel me? So it's like, if you just erase that equation completely, like, now you got nothing else to do but, like, things for yourself, pretty much. I think I cooked right there. Shama did it on the plane. Shama did it in first class. Is crazy. All desires of the flesh, all rewards of the world, yes, tempting, but it will destroy you. You literally lose your soul. Nah, shout out to Cupcake. Lust is like jacking off in a woman. Whoever fucking said that. Someone said that. It's not Brian. Someone said it's like jacking off in a woman. Is that what Nick Fuentes saying? Did I hear that listening to Nick Fuentes? I don't know who the fuck said it, but I heard that. Someone said that recently. Okay. So I wanted to go over to the Ariel and Darren Till interview.
We do have.
And there's just, oh shit. Okay. There's one part of it that I want to go to. Okay, 18 minutes in, Darren addresses Dana White's ego. So we just need to go over this. It's like Dana's ego is insane right now. 18 minutes, right?
Too much ego. It's just what he can answer. But every time Dana's in a scrum, we've got very few stars left. I don't want to slag Dana on here. It does what it says on the tin, you know.
What do you make of?
Someone said it in chat yesterday. Oh, did they? Maybe that's where I heard it from. I heard it in like the last 24 hours though. Jacking off in a woman. You know, usually I can make sense of everything. Shit, I could not even make sense of jacking off in a woman. Like, what the fuck? Jacking off is using your fucking hand, bro. You know, when you're piping a woman, in no way is that jacking off. The fuck is going on? In fact, I would say it's more the opposite. I would say that jacking off is more like fucking. You know, the main thing is, you know, the sex part. You know, the jacking off is what is mimicking the sex part. It's not the opposite way around. You know, acting like having sex with a woman is like mimicking jerking off. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Jerking off is mimicking sex. It's complete opposite. I figured it out. It's a contradiction. It's an oxymoron. It's like a light in a dark room. It doesn't work. You can't jack off in a woman. You know, I do like an oxymoron, to be honest with you. But that one I don't like. All right, let's watch it. Darren Till goes off on Baldy Dana White. Let's hear it. You know, we got to speak about the state of MMA always, always.
The simmering feud between him and Dana. It's really evolved since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, I don't look into it, but if I do, I think I don't want to slag Dana on here because I do like Dana, but I just think Dana's ego is getting a little bit too much out of control. Like I think he's totally switched off from the UFC. I don't even watch the UFC no more. Really. I couldn't tell you half the people who fight on it. The events just aren't juicy no more. I think they've got very few stars left. And I'm a pissed off, to be honest, with like the media side of things. Like every time Dana's in a scrum, it's like these reporters are scared to say the real thing. And it's like when they do ask questions, Dana's all sort of like, who gives a shit? Well, we give a shit. I give a shit, so give us a fucking answer, Baldy, and get your ego, like take your ego away. I'm sorry to slag him because I'll go on one now, but I give a shit. What do you mean? Who gives a shit? We give a shit, so give us some fucking answers. What do you want about? Who gives a shit? It just annoys me. It just.
Now this is a man who's in touch with his you know, emotions and feelings. You know, he knows exactly how to express himself. He knows exactly how Dana made him feel, and he's expressing it, you know, to the people. And sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who talks about Dana like this. You know? It's nice to see it. It's nice to see someone else being able to express, you know, the frustration that fucking baldy ass Dana puts onto us. Like, homie frustrates the fuck out of me.
Too much ego. It's like as a fighter, sometimes you'd have the fighter's friend talking shit to you. Well, you can't fight. Why are you talking? You'll get your jaw snapped. The fighters should be fight. It's like the managers when they're arguing. Have you seen the state of half of these managers? They're all fat, fucking. They all just look like potatoes, and they're all arguing like they're about that life. Like, you just do your jobs and sign contracts, you fucking morons. Let the fighters fight. It pisses me off when I see them on Twitter. Ariel. I don't go on Twitter much no more, Ariel. You probably see I don't use it much because I can't. Because I'll end up just going after everyone because they all piss me off. They're just all. It's mad. It's just all too much ego. The fighters are the only ones that should be having back and forth. Why are managers who fucking look like fucking spastics arguing on Twitter? And, you know, it's just pathetic. And then Eddie and Dana are talking about this biggest fight. You're about 50. You're both 50. It's not a big fight. For starters, you just can't fight. And for two, well, what do you mean this big fight? You're just a pair of nunty egotistical cunts. It winds me up here. I can't get onto it because I just go off on one. I don't even think about it because I just lose my mind. Sorry.
No apology necessary. Welcome back, Darren. We missed this version of you because you're speaking my language. I'm the one who's been saying this for quite some time about Dana, that he doesn't have the same zest and passion for the UFC. What drew us to the UFC and to Dana 10, 15 years ago was him.
And it's like, well, gee, Ariel, I wonder why Dana don't got the same zest and passion for the UFC. Do you want to say it? Do you want to say why? I've already said why. Why I think. Because of Ari and, the other guy, Mark Shapiro, I think his name is, something like that. The owners of TKO. Do you want to speak about that? This is what I mean when it's like, I don't trust Ariel. You know, he's always willing to gaslight Dana, but he won't go further. He's going to let it be a mystery as to why Dana doesn't care about the UFC anymore. He's never going to fully sound it out to you guys. And that's what frustrates me. That's why I find him disingenuous, because he gives the illusion like he's willing to talk about these topics, but he's not. And I think he's part of the problem. I think he's part of the reason why the UFC is lifeless. I think he's a part of an agenda, to big up women's combat sports. But at the same time, you care that the UFC is lifeless, But you're the same guy who bigs up women's combat sports, bigs up Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. That shit's lifeless as hell, bro. You're part of the problem. You say that that's the shot in the arm that the UFC needs. Ronda versus Gina, the shot in the arm that MMA as a whole needs. I mean, brother, you are a part of the problem making it lifeless. But then you sit here and you're like, it does seem lifeless. Dana doesn't care anymore. The fuck? You look at the UFC, you look at fighting the same way Dana does, like the fans are idiots, and like you could prop it up in front of them and do the little bells and whistles, and everyone's just gonna buy it and watch it. It doesn't matter about appeasing, right, or fulfilling fans' appetite. We're gonna give you something, and we know how to promote it. You're gonna like it whether you like it or not because of how we promote it. That's Ariel. Me, I'm like, no, we got to give the people what they want, And then let's put out the bells and whistles and do a double tandem. The fight people want plus the bells and whistles equals, everybody wins. So that's a bit of a tangent, but let's just continue. Don't get distracted with what I'm saying necessarily. It's just to say that Ariel, when he tries to be on Darren Till's side, I don't believe he's on his side. And we're going to go over something again in a little bit. Because Ariel's saying the opposite shit as me. And I'll just leave that as a cliffhanger. I don't want to distract this topic.
Sitting there with fire coming out of his mouth about the product, he sits there and says, who cares? He's talking to us, the fans, the customers.
Mate, when have you seen the UFC? When did they do them promos before it? Now, where you're waiting in the arena and like I come up on the screen and it's like, Darren, so how's your fight gonna go tonight? It's like there's airy music behind it. It's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. Boom, 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 boom. And then it goes to that guy. He's gonna kill me, and then we both walk out. Where's all the promos gone? The Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey, where they had Ludovico, the classical music behind it, and we watched Ronda Rousey grow in judo, lose the Olympic. We watched Holly Holm. Where's the John Jones, Daniel Cormier one go with Hosier, where it's fighting demons? Where have they gone? Because when I'm running on the treadmill and I need a bit of motivation, I watch that shit and then I play my own promos out. I think when me and Perry fight in the bare knuckle, I'm gonna sit down with David and Connor. I'm gonna go, right, we're doing a promo to end all promos. Take the money out of my paycheck just to do the promo. Where's all that gone? Where's the Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor promo gone? Where's it all gone? And you sat there going, who gives a shit? But we give a shit, you fat terrapin. We give a shit. Don't start me, Ariel, please.
No, but look, now we get AI.
Me and Till are very similar. Also, Ariel going, oh yeah, yes. When Darren Till's talking about these promos, Ariel is gonna talk shit on the AI. Here's my thing. You know, I saw a clip from an interview where like the head of creativity or something like that for the UFC was explaining why they use AI, you know, their idea on it. And then, you know, Dana, he has to answer for it. So of course, you know, some of these things frustrate Dana, but it's because, you know, Dana's not really the main guy anymore. You know, Dana is Darren to Darren Chill. Dana is the guy who, you know, he's like the face, bro. But really, you know, the head of creative is taking orders from upstairs from the TKO execs, right? And then Dana's answering for it. So that's why I think you do get some of the, you know, just discontentment from Dana being like, who cares? It's because, you know, Dana, like, he's just answering for other people. And I would just even question, like, the whole AI thing, was it even Dana's idea? You guys really think that Dana's the one who's like, let's do AI? Or I don't know, maybe it's to save money. Once again, orders from the higher ups, from the execs. They call the head of creative, right? They tell him this is what you're going to do. Dana doesn't really have a full say on it, right? The duties to the shareholders, maximizing profits. And so it is what it is. It just has to happen like that. But that would explain why Dana also just doesn't care anymore. Because like it's for him, it's like we'll take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back with these guys always hovering over what I really want to do. Right. So I've been mapping through this. I've been speculating that Dana doesn't like the UFC anymore because he doesn't have that ownership stake like he really used to have. You know, they sold it, which is, you know, for him, that's like no more ownership stake. They sold it. Before, they were working up to that point to sell the company. And yeah. I do think that a little bit. Dana not happy with the UFC anymore, doesn't care about it anymore because of the guys in charge. But again, Ariel will never point that picture because he knows who the guys in charge are. He knows who the guys in charge are. And he's a nationalist. You know, he rides for his people. Right or wrong. Soda Pop, what's poppin', homie? I used you as an example midstream, Soda Pop. I was using you as the example of you're a Contender Series supporter, and I'm a Tough supporter. And I explained why Tough is better than Contender Series. You got to go back and watch it. Let's continue. I think this is almost over with.
Promos. Now we get White House card, and these guys are looking like robots.
Hey, Ariel, someone asked ChatGPT the other day, I need my car washing. It's 100 meters from here. Should I walk or take the car? ChatGPT responded, you should walk. Yeah, exactly. Why AI's a load of shit.
It's like, how stupid can people be?
Just bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't know.
But I saw you tweeting about Josh Hokett, so you were watching a couple of weeks ago. There you are. That Josh Hokett guy may have acted like a fool before his fight.
No, I didn't, Ariel. I watched the highlights, seeing that he done really well for all the shit talk, because I thought he was going to get splattered. So I gave him his props. I don't like that kind of camaraderie, whatever you call it, like the way he was carrying on. But he's still like, do you know what I mean? You can't, whatever. I just think it's gone to shit here. I think the UFC's gone to shit a bit. I'm not happy with it.
It feels soulless.
Shout out to Soda Pop. No worries, homie.
Right, Darren?
It just there's nothing there. There's just nothing there. Like I just remember at the times when even when I was coming up, and there was just so. I'm sorry to say, Ariel, like the last London event was just fucking disastrous. Like the London events when Bisping fought, mate. I got knocked out again in London, but the atmosphere for that was electric. Like, by me getting knocked out, the atmosphere was electric. The fight was even good with Mazda. Like, it ain't got that no more. It just hasn't got that. Do you know what I mean? There's no life in it. That's why the bare knuckles fucking actually is good. I know it's not up there with the UFC, but fuck me, there's some exciting in it. And even Malky's Dirty Boxing, I've been watching that a lot. That's really exciting, but it means more when the promoter's behind it and he's passion. Obviously, I have my own promotion now myself, Ariel. Now, obviously, I'm not the guy who does all of the day-to-days, but my partner is so passionate. Like, I can feel the passion oozing out of him. And he even says to me, he's like, oh, this game can be disheartening. And I'm like, lad, you've got lots to learn because everyone's a snake, everyone's a cunt. Like, please. And he'll say to me, like, he's all right. And I go, no, he's a cunt. He's all right. No, he's an even bigger cunt. Obviously, that's the game. But Dana's just lost his mojo, man. It's even as signing Conor Ben, that fight with Regis, just disastrous. I don't know. Maybe Dana just needs to stop it all now. Maybe he's had his day. And this is me not, well, I am slagging him, but I'm slagging him to his face because if he sees it. It's not like that. You probably take this the wrong way, but it's my opinion. I don't give a fuck. I don't like the way the UFC is going. It's fucking disastrous.
I do want to mention, as you just mentioned, Gorilla 3 taking place May 9th at the Hideout Arena in Bolton, live on DAZN. 70 kg tournament. You see the love that we show you, Darren? There it is. There's the poster. That's your promotion, right?
Yes, my partner is a we run scoring, man. Yeah. Start out for the 10K. Next three shows.
Did you talk to them at all? Was there any thoughts?
My body's probably past that now, Ariel.
Okay.
About going back to the UFC.
You think you're done with MMA for good?
The only way I could come back to the MMA, Ariel, if I think decisively, is at the end of this year, take a full year off to get the surgery on the knee, and then take myself off to either Brazil, Russia, somewhere like that again for a year. Don't think of anything, but just do what I've done when I first went to Brazil and just grapple. Do what I've done. Come back and, yeah, but I'd be probably 35 by then. Would it be too late? I don't know. The sport's always evolving, innit, in UFC. The people of now are better than all of us 10 years ago, so I don't know.
What's wrong with your knee?
It's just fucked. I mean, it's not fucked enough to train and fight. Like, I train hard fight, but if I was to go into MMA, it would come out some angle in the gym or something. So I'd have to get the surgery, like what Tom Aspinall got, the exact same.
What do you make of what's going on with Tom in the UFC?
Honestly, Ariel, do you want my honest opinion?
Of course. That's why we love having you on.
I think it's bad the way he's getting treated, but I also don't think Tom's doing himself any favours either.
How so?
Look, I love Tom. Fucking me and Tom, we grew up in the ranks together. But I just think signing with Eddie might have been a bit. I'm not going to say bad move money wise because I think Eddie's going to get him the deals and the sponsors. But I just know what the UFC is like, and I know how Dana thinks, and that'll have done Dana's head in a little bit. So he'll probably. You know, I heard they didn't even invite Tom to like UFC London and stuff like that.
Correct.
But he wasn't there, so that's what like I was assuming. I'm obviously just assuming that, but that's what.
That's crazy though. I just wanted to wait for that part. That's crazy though. They didn't invite Tom Aspinall to UFC London a few weeks ago. I don't know when the UFC London was. Whenever it was. That's bad that they didn't invite him. What's poppin', Chain Fire Mech Warrior? Okay, so that's that. And then I just want to go over something that, oh, this is funny as fuck, by the way. Shamrock got cut from the UFC. And then, obviously you guys remember this viral clip, right? Let's just play it from the start. But he goes, do I look like Patchy Mixed Lad, right? Let's play this real quick.
Hi. You have been undefeated in Octagon, so you came here and the expectation was high, I think. But you don't care about that. You can be, fired when you lose next fight.
Next question. Come with the real shit, bro. Where do you?
That was some of the realest shit I ever heard, though. He gave me some real ass shit. That was some of the realest shit I ever heard. He put his balls on the table.
From, lad?
I'm from Poland.
Ah, yeah. You were Octagon fan?
No.
Okay.
I'm MMA fan. But I want to ask because, the lots of fighters was like that.
Do I look like Patchy Mix, lad?
Yeah, for example.
Famous last fucking words. Famous last words.
Do I look like Patchy Mix?
No, but...
What is it, because we're both mixed race?
But it's an example, like Patchy Mix do that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have been undefeated
And
in
then
Octagon, so
Behunin.
you came...
Shout out Alex Behunin. He's been in these chats before. Or at least he's been silently watching. But Behunin goes, I guess he did look like Patchy Mix. That's all time. That's fucking hilarious. I even had to comment. I guess he did look like Patchy Mix. I mean, I guess he did. Famous last words, though. That's crazy. Also, another news, Magic Bets announced today. Mario Bautista, Corey Sandhagen. Sandhagen ranked number 4. Bautista ranked number 8 at bantamweight. They're booked for UFC 329 on July 11th. That's International Fight Week for those wondering. So, honestly, I'm not going to hate on this matchup at all. Who you guys got, though? Interesting matchup for sure, bro. These dudes been circling each other, not saying each other's names. They both got bird chests. Look at their bird chests. I don't need to say it, but I'll just say it anyway. It's no insult that you have a bird chest. You know, I tell my homies, if they got chests like that, they got bird chests. Any man who has a chest like this has a bird chest. You know, the gap in between is crazy. It's a bird chest. Bautista, obviously. I'm kind of leaning towards Bautista. He's had like one slip up against Umar. He still has time to come back, but Corey slipped up against every elite fighter he's ever faced. Even TJ Dillashaw. You know, with a torn knee and shit like that. Hold on. Yeah, even TJ with a torn knee and shit like that. So, I mean, even if Corey beats Mario, he's going to stink it up eventually. Let me call everything as I do. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning Bautista. I think Bautista also put up a better fight against Umar, maybe than Corey did a little bit. You guys feel me on that? Corey will become a wrestler. Bautista's already a wrestler, Mech Warrior. This one's kind of crazy. Apparently, Armand got attacked by black guys outside, or he uses the word attacked. Then he goes on to say, I didn't really get attacked, but they were bothering me, and I started talking shit to them, and then things popped off, and I broke my pinky. But I mean, that's exactly the story. He got attacked by black guys, allegedly. Talked some shit back to them. It popped off. They were showing him love, but he thought they were attacking him. This dude can't help himself. This is after Raf. Brother, you came to support when needed, but there was no support. Do you understand? We left the hotel. Black guys attacked us. You guys thought I was just making that up, huh? No, that's literally what he said. And then the guy goes, are you saying that seriously? No jokes? Yes, ask Elvis. You didn't do anything to anyone? Well, I really did break a finger. How did they attack? How did that happen? They didn't attack. They were asking for photos, pulling at me. I said, why are you yanking me? And then it all kicked off. You mean seriously, for real? Yeah, bro. Sorry, I was just buying t-shirts. I'll call Hamza and tell him you were buying t-shirts. Yeah, so Armand, another day, another scrap. Okay, before we get into the weeds of some crazy shit. Oh, wait, this is actually good work, though. Naoya Inoue punch is sinking right in. Damn. I mean, check this out. Check this work. Respect the work, bro. Inoue. I think it's fight week for him, no? UFC fighters don't train like this, by the way. They don't sit there and train technical work like this. There's only one guy in the UFC who shows off his work like this, or two, Ilya and Islam. Theo copyrighted this video because he got so embarrassed. Okay. Ariel, so hear me out, right? I haven't listened to this, but I saw the caption and I just had to bookmark it. We had to react in real time together. So you guys know I've been speaking about the landscape of the UFC, saying it sucks now. And what I say, just simply put, because it's a simple contradiction between him and I, and I'm just gonna try to figure this out together with everybody in the chat right now, because they got no work. Yeah, they fucking suck, bro. Fuck the UFC fighters of today. Honestly, I hate them. I mean, I don't hate them. Ah, oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm just like seeing this clip in my mind right now as I did that. Fuck the UFC fighters. I hate them. I mean, I don't hate them. It's like, oh yeah, you fucking hate them. The way you said it, you fucking hate them. And I do have a little bit of disdain for them. I'm gonna keep it real. Like that's why like I kind of like being disrespectful at times. Because it's like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Like I'm so sick of your shit ass being sold to me as normal. Like it's a problem in the first place that you're being sold to me as normal. Like you just want me to believe it. You don't be mad at me because I don't believe it. Don't be mad at me because I don't believe you a real fighter. You know, don't be mad at me. You not a real fighter. Just because you signed to the UFC, you got a little contract with 3 letters on it. Psh, please, bro. But all the 20-year-olds eat it up, right, Franklin? All the 19-year-olds, they eat it up. Because they haven't fully, you know, grown up yet. But I'm telling you, grown-ass men, they see these UFC fighters and they're like, bro, are you kidding me? I don't know how I got into that, but let's just leave that as a side note. My main thing that I'm speaking about is Ariel speaking about the UFC, the state of it. The UFC sucks now. He thinks that the UFC has lost their hardcore fans, right? That they're only paying attention to the casual fans. This guy's a wolf in sheep's clothing, selling you the idea that they're targeting the hardcore fan base more than the casual fan base, or they're targeting the casual fan base more than the hardcore fan base. Now I can say that they did target the casual fan base with the Paddy Pimblett booking, right? With Justin Gaethje, trying to set up that fight with Ilya. They were catering to the casual fan base there, and that's what they should be doing. But ever since that, I haven't seen anything that's to cater to the casual fan base. Have not seen anything. And you could be like, well, what about Strickland versus Hamzat? No, because Imavov versus Hamzat would have happened, but they just don't want to fight each other. So the UFC just said, fuck it, let's book it. You know, it was a win-win. So I won't use that one. Ever since Gaethje, Paddy, that was to appease the casual fans to set up Ilya versus Paddy. That fell through, and there has been no attempt to bring in casual fans ever since. I've been saying this for weeks. And bro, I was picking up an order doing Uber and busted out laughing when you said you hate the UFC fighters LMFA. Cupcake, is because low-key I do a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I low-key do hate them a little bit. Like in the most loving, endearing way possible. It's not genuine hate. It's just like I hate that you are who you are today, and that you that you want me to be okay with it. You know, that's what it is. But shout out Cupcake. I hope you make some good bread tonight, homie. Shout out to you hustling, homie. So what am I getting to with this whole Ariel thing? I'm trying to say that I don't know why Ariel's making it seem like the UFC is still trying to go for the casual audience, because clearly they're just content with their hardcore audience watching. That's the only people they're really appeasing. And again, I just think he's got these backwards ideas because he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I think he really presses the agenda, you know, that the owners of TKO are trying to push, whatever that may be. Maximizing profits, I don't fucking know. Also, I'm aware of the idea that Ariel might not be this smart, and this might be a lot of backwards thinking, really elaborate, planning, but I don't think it's above him. But it is pretty elaborate to kind of like flip the narrative and sell it to the audience. That's kind of what he's doing. TKO as an entity has a major task on its hands right now. It has to win the hardcore fans back. Bro, the hardcore, he's bringing up something and then he's giving you the wrong problem. TKO, see how the second he criticizes TKO as an entity, he gives you guys the wrong problem. I just don't trust him. it would have been correct if he said it has to win the casual fans back, right? Only the hardcore fans are watching. Think about it. If the hardcore fans aren't in tune, then what the fuck? There's no casual fans in tune. There's even less casual fans in tune if the hardcores aren't in tune. Why are we speaking about the hardcore? We need to speak about the casual. That's how you grow the sport. They may care about the casuals, the top line, the mainstream fans. Since when? Since when? Celebrities and influencers. Since when did they care about the mainstream fans? All year we've been getting shit events and shit fights. I just really, and I can't explain it, bro. I just don't trust Ariel with this. It's almost like he's coming off like he's criticizing TKO. But the problem he's presenting is actually a compliment. If you can understand that by saying, oh yeah, TKO, they care about the casuals, the top line, the mainstream fans. If they did, bro, there would be no complaining. Like, you guys understand that, right? If TKO was caring about the casuals, the top line, the mainstream fans, there would be no complaining. But here he is complaining. And I'm trying to tell you, these aren't things that you should be complaining about. These are things that should be celebrated. If the TKO execs care about the casuals, that's their job, to care more about the casuals than the hardcores. Because the casuals turn into hardcores. You want to bring in more casuals. The hardcores are already locked in. They're subscribers. So, just understand that's why I don't trust this statement, and that's why I want to bring it up to you guys. Because the one time he criticizes TKO, it doesn't even make any sense. They may not care about the hardcore fans now, but they will start to worry about them when the casuals become hardcores. See what I mean? Which is what they want. How does that even make any sense? I'm making more sense than this dude is. But it's because he's trying to sell you a narrative that just doesn't work. And it's almost to be like, it's a backhanded way of being like, gaslighting people into being like, bro, TKO is doing their job. They do care about the casuals. They're trying to bring that in. No, TKO is not doing their job because they're not bringing in the casuals in, because they don't care about that. They think their money's already been made. All they're worried about now is maximizing profits. I mean, guys, who do you want to fucking trust? Who do you want to trust? I'm putting my balls on the table right in front of Ariel. You guys can choose. I want to do a poll. Team JC or Team Ariel. And I know by now, to be honest, there's a lot of people who watch that love to go opposite of me. So I'm not even going to think that if I win this poll, this is just because it's my stream. Nah. There's been so many times where you guys disagree with me. So I want to know. Team JC, see what I mean? First one goes to Ariel. So if I win this poll, it's completely fair. But that's how I feel. The letters TKO are becoming somewhat stained in the eyes of wrestling, MMA, and boxing fans. We should never be talking about TKO as fans. That's the parent company. Now that's fair. That's fair to say. They're ruining the sanctity of what we love so much. The mat now has ads everywhere. The table has ads everywhere. The apron has ads everywhere. There are no more backstage vignettes. No more interviews, and entrances are being lost. It doesn't feel the same anymore. But I would even argue and be like, is this Ariel's way of like publicly criticizing TKO so that fans can't be like, oh, you're one of them? You feel me? That's what I'm trying to say too. I think he's coming out here criticizing TKO in the most PG way possible so that he can essentially be like, oh no, I'm not one of them. You guys say I'm one of them. I've gone out, I've spoke against them. This a law of power right here. He a wolf in sheep's clothing. I truly believe it. Even when he criticizes them, I don't buy it. Straight up. That's what I'm telling you guys right now. Even when he criticizes them, I don't buy it. Team Ariel, he's never late. America first. Get over it, homie. Get over it. Get over it. Some Vice TV Wigga said MMA is a wimp sport compared to tennis. Oh. Comparing MMA to tennis is kind of crazy. America First low-key gives AI 2A vibes at times. Maybe America First is AI 2A. Somebody thought that AI 2A was one of the chat members on an alt. Maybe it's America First. Maybe it's America First. Tennis is a one-on-one game, lasts hours, and it's hard. No, tennis is a tough game. Let's listen to Ariel. Let's just listen to it. Little 3-minute clip. Shit, my bad. I got the audio turned off. We got to restart that.
TKO, as an entity, has a task on their hands right now. Their big task, in my opinion, they have to win the hardcore fans over. They may not care about the hardcore fans right now. They may care about the casuals, the top line, the mainstream fans, celebrity influence, influencers. They may not care about the hardcores now, but they will start to worry about them when the casuals become hardcores, which is what they want. And the hardcores teach the casuals, which is how they feel right now, that those 3 letters are not very welcome right now. When you have fans chanting FTKO in the post show, that's a problem. The letters TKO are becoming somewhat stained in the eyes of wrestling, MMA, and boxing fans. That's a problem. We should never be talking about TKO as fans. That's the parent company. We didn't talk about Zuffa when we were watching the UFC back in the day. That was the parent company. We didn't really care. But they have become this sort of entity that is ruining in the eyes of a lot of.
But wait. I can't believe that this dude actually had the balls to bring this topic up, because it's like, bro, I wonder why people are paying attention. I wonder why people are paying attention to Paramount or paying attention to TKO. Is it because of who happens to own them? I just want to know who owns Zuffa Boxing. You know? What type of people own Zuffa Boxing? Who owns Paramount? Who owns TKO? You got Sean Strickland's press conference getting cut short. You got the flags not being allowed in the cage. You want to speak about any of that, Ariel? Because like you bring up this point and then you completely divert it. You know, this is why I think this dude is dangerous. And you know, I wouldn't have been able to come up with that unless I started listening to it. But it's actually crazy to me. It's like like, gee, bro. Everyone paying attention now. They didn't pay attention to the parent company, Zuffa Boxing. They pay attention to the parent company, TKO, right? Paramount Plus, also getting a lot of shit talked on them right now. I wonder why everyone pays attention to this parent company. Gee. I wonder why. Ariel is a player. He wouldn't be in his position if he wasn't a J. There's America First again. Shit, homie, I thought I lost you. Thought I fucking lost you for a second.
Fans, this thing that we loved so much. They're ruining the sanctity of what we loved so much. The mat now has ads everywhere. All right, big deal. The table now has ads everywhere. All right, big deal. The apron now has ads everywhere. All right, big deal.
Who's worried about the ads everywhere? Every argument this guy got, it's like, who cares though? You're not even speaking about the real issues.
No more backstage vignettes, no more interviews, entrances being lost. It doesn't feel the same anymore. It doesn't feel the same. You would never see, I'm watching Rhea Ripley against Jade Cargill, and they go to a shot of Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, and then they zoom out a little, and there's a guy named Adam Weitzman.
I just have to say, I even think I have a conspiracy in my mind as well right now a little bit that like Ariel, he would have wanted to be positive, right? He would have wanted to be positive about this. He's always pushed the positivity. He's been pushed, you know, he's the last person to actually jump on the bandwagon that the UFC and all this shit sucks now, right? We've been talking about this for months. This is the first time we're hearing about it from this dude, I think. All right. But he's almost, I think, coming on this now, on this topic now, because if he doesn't, he realizes that like, damn, I gotta make this switch. You know, and this dude loves the WWE, so he knows all about perception. He knows all about manipulating the fan base. He knows all about which character to be at what time, be the heel, be the loved personality, right? And he knows this, and he knows the ebbs and flows of how people feel about things and where he needs to fall on things and what character he needs to deploy. He speaks about this on his show all the time for UFC fighters and all this type of shit. Heel turn, you know, have you reached X-Pac heat, shit like that. That's how I don't know about this shit other than him. Funny how he knows all about that though. Maybe he's a super manipulative dude and he uses these same techniques on his fans and he fucking projects it out sometimes, right? And he disguises it as if he's just a big WWE fan and that's how he knows about it. Maybe he knows all about that shit because he wants to manipulate his fans. He thinks he's his own WWE star. And anyway, maybe this is a WWE bit type thing right now where it's like he's been playing ball. He's been, you know, a positive person for the UFC, etc. because of who owns it, right? But he realizes that like he gotta, you know, the optics don't look good. He got to speak out against it eventually. And there's got to be a drawing point. There's got to be a line to do it, right? And so he's finally reached the point where it's like, okay, I'm a do this. You know, I'm a call it out. But it's like, he's only doing this for a public image. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. He's only calling this out for a public image because he knows it's more damning if he continues to not call it out. You know, he wants to continue to have the trust of the fans. So it's like, you know, this dude's just a clown, bro. I mean, I hate to say it, but this dude is just like, you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, like the first 30 seconds, why is he even bringing this up in the first place? You know why people are paying attention to the parent companies. And it has nothing to do with the reasons you're speaking about. You know, there's a bigger issue at play here. You're part of the fucking pact, the community. That's a part of this bigger issue at play that we keep referring to. Yet you're the guy who's going to start speaking up about it. The ho-hum dude. A wolf in sheep's clothing, bro. A wolf in sheep's clothing. If you don't get what I'm saying, I mean, I don't know a better way to say it. This is more of a PR stunt, a public image stunt to maintain the trust of the fans, to not look like he's a shill for his people. That's what this is.
Sitting next to them. And I couldn't believe my eyes. Adam Weitzman is, by all accounts, a very good guy. I've actually talked to him a few times online. Syracuse guy, businessman, has a scrap metal company. He has clearly, you know, a good amount of money. God bless him. He is influential in the Syracuse scene, was I guess you could say like a booster of some kind, would always go to Syracuse basketball games with very famous people, Carmelo Anthony, Jimmy Fallon, those types of people. I think had a falling out with Syracuse, then went to help Jerry McNamara with Siena and was helping them as well. All to say, I'm like, what is Adam Weitzman doing here? And they say, oh, and we're being joined by Adam Weitzman, who I guess paid for some sort of VIP experience to be sitting next to the broadcast team during WrestleMania. He never said a word. They showed him. He didn't even say hello. He smiled. But would you ever watch the Super Bowl and have them cut to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in the booth and just have a fan there? You would never have Joe Smith in the booth. Like, there are certain things. I am certain that TKO is making a lot of money and they're doing very, very well. There has to be a line. Not everything should be for sale, because I'm sure that you can make that money in different ways. Slap sponsors on the wrestler's shorts, all over the thing. Sponsor. There's got to be a line. There has to be a line.
Oh, so if we just fix the sponsorship thing, we should be good. We should be good again. I mean, where the fuck is the solutions to bring the cash or whatever, you know, to get the hardcore fans back on track. He don't got a solution because he made up a bullshit ass point. You know, and then he hones in on these ads. Look at his stupid ass face. Honing in on the ads. Like, bro, what the fuck? The fuck? You brought up a bigger point. Your point was fake. Like I straight called out, you know, saying like, you know, the UFC has to worry more about the hardcore fans. They're losing them. Then he just goes on a tangent about ads for 2 more minutes. Well, you got any solution? So there's got to be a line, you know, the ads are the line. You know, we got to get rid of the ads to make the product better. Okay, well, how about the solution to get the hardcore fans back? You got a solution for that? That seems like more of a pressing issue. We're losing hardcore fans because of ads? Sounds like fucking a big reach to me. I would actually go ahead and say that we're losing the hardcore fans, you know, and we're not bringing in casual fans, right? That's the real statement to make. Hardcore fans are trickling out, and then we're bringing in no more casual fans too. That's a terrible combination. You know, but the reason why that's happening is because we're not getting the fights we want. Because we're not catering to the casual fan base and bringing in new people. But, you know, that's why his whole point was so contradictory. He can't even speak because he just contradicts himself. He's a walking contradiction. Dude is a walking contradiction. I don't trust this dude at all. Like, you guys can tell the tone of my voice. You can tell how I'm on him right now. I don't trust this dude at all. This post gets 433K views.
TKO.
Yeah, bro. He on some propaganda stunt right now. Somebody bought these views for him. I just don't even buy that a topic like this does 433K views. Honestly, I don't even know how a topic like this does 433K views. He definitely bought the views on this one. I just don't trust this at all. And I'm actually like, you know, it's actually I'm hyped up on this one. Because again, you guys get like fucked over. You know, you guys get lied to. This dude's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Look at his face. Look at this freeze frame. Who voting gay Ariel? Shit. Yeah, if you voting gay Ariel, that's insane, bro. 67% of people are going with me, though, so shout out to you guys. I've only been seeing my percentage go up as I cook this dude. JC all day. Shout out to Jew. Shout out to Jew. America First goes, Ariel has no talent. As much as you might like to want to like him, you can't. He has no personality. He's so fake, and you can see through it. If you know, you know. I mean, honestly, bro, yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough. I see what you're saying. Franklin goes, definitely want to like him. I don't want to like him. I mean, I don't want to like anybody. You know, you're either likable or you're not, in my opinion. Not sure I agree with you, TBH. Ariel has been spouting the UFC anti-UFC rhetoric long before TKO. Like what? What are his complaints about the UFC? What's the anti-UFC rhetoric he's been spitting? TBH, I turn down the volume whenever Ariel is doing interviews. Ariel is very knowledgeable, but has no character to deliver facts. Bet if Brandon was in his spot, he would have triple the amount of followers. Damn, America First. You don't got to glaze me up like that, homie. But thank you very much. Thank you very much, America First. That's a nice compliment. Such a nice compliment, I almost can't accept it. But thank you very much, America First. UFC or boxing? Yeah. I'll listen to an Ariel interview, but I always cringe a little bit. He just tries to be cool too. You know, Ariel does try to be cool. So when he does try to be cool to his guests, it's like, oh gosh, it's like a nerd talking to one of the popular kids. It's like, can we get past this? Just ask him the question. Forget all the pleasantries. Just ask him the question because you don't got the same type of aura that homie over here got. Take Ariel off already. Don't give him any more play. All right, that's fine. But no, that's pretty much my stream for the evening. That's what I got for you boys. A little 2-hour stream for you boys. A little early night stream. That is what I got for you. We got Aljamain versus Yusuf Zalal this weekend. I'm just gonna save that because who knows if we'll have anything to talk about tomorrow. So the fact that we did a 2-hour stream without talking about the fights this weekend, let's save it for tomorrow maybe. Take Ariel off. I'm losing my Woody. Well, shit. We don't want you to lose your Woody, homie. Co-main event: Norma Dumont versus Jocelyn Edwards. Why? Why over Rafa Garcia and Alexander Hernandez? SD versus Jackson McVeigh. Another week, another shitty card. Another week, another shitty fucking card. Great. Great. Ariel giving us half chubs. Shit, Ariel the type of guy you put on when you're trying to last longer in bed, huh? You're trying to last longer in bed. You tried all the techniques. You tried like whatever the case, like pinching your butt cheeks together, something like that. You tried the horny goat weed pills. You know, you tried drinking before. Nothing works. You can't last long in bed. Shit, last resort, turn on a fucking Ariel Helwani stream. Shit. Put on an Ariel Helwani stream. You finna last an hour. You won't be able to bust until you turn that shit off. I didn't like how he was trying to Big Brother Faber. You have a buy me a coffee link. You should set one up. Oh, that's a good idea. I just have a link that says donate to the PayPal Unbroken, but buy me a coffee is a kind of cool concept. What is it, like just a $250 $200 or $2.50 dono type button? Or it's buy me a coffee with tiers of donos. Ariel's role is to be opposite of UFC. Kinda, yeah. Bro, Tyler Betts comes in with the most random thing. He says, I don't like how he's trying to Big Brother Faber. Who is trying to Big Brother Faber? Holy, first time hearing about horny goat weed in a while. Oh, did you see Armand and Faber fall off stage? Oh, I'm not on the live chat, huh? I need the live chat. That's so funny too. We haven't seen AI2A in here ever since I called him out like that. Fuck him. Fuck that dude. Okay, let's end this poll. We got all the people who voted that needed to vote. I'm not gonna let you guys troll me out of losing this poll. I won that shit. I won that shit. Oh, only 7 votes. Damn, you guys are whack. You guys are whack for that. If you didn't vote, you whack. Horny Goat Weed is like 30 years old. In the meantime interview, Arrow was talking down to him a little. Oh, okay. Interesting. See, I don't watch it. Like I only watch the pertaining Ariel interviews. But if it's like with Uriah, it's like, yeah, I'll just skip. I'll save myself the trouble. Ariel's making me limp. Rafa versus Hernandez on gonna hit low key, right? Yeah, Rafa versus Hernandez is a great fight. Should be the co-main event. Ariel making me limp. Yeah, same. Okay. Before we get off, let's just do a doom scroll on X just to see. Spineless Joe. Once again, Spineless Joe once again.
So you saw that thing that I had to do with the White House the other day.
I did see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are pissed.
Who's pissed?
I don't know. People online.
What, because I was at the White House?
Yeah, they're like, yo, Joe, you can't be at the fucking White House, Joe. You said you were fucking politically
Homeless. I am.
Homeless.
He joked about it. He called me a liberal during the whole thing. He's like, Joe, he's very liberal.
What? Oh, I saw another. What did he?
So you saw that thing that I had to do with the White House.
Joe's disingenuous. All right, boys. Peace out. Peace out. I swear, I'm getting a little bit tired off of these daily streams. I'm getting tired to the point where sometimes it's tiring just to yell out the shout out the streets at the end. Ugh. All right, boys. Let me shout you out. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Peace out to Unbroken. Peace out America First. Peace out Tony M. Peace out Tyler Betts. Peace out Tony Sal. Peace out Franklin again. Peace out to Jew. Peace out Eric Ghoul. Peace out to Cyrus. I love Toxic Latina. Shout out, homie. Peace out, Cupcake. Peace out, Chainfire Mech Warrior. Peace out to Soda Pop. And that's all I could see. Okay, boys. Perfecto was in here, right? Done daughter and shit like that. So shout out to you, boys. Anyone I missed, my bad. I'll get you guys next time. But like the video on your way out. You know, I don't know how many people liked it, but I'd like 25 on the evening as always. And then subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We're in the midst of a 90-day live stream streak, boys. So we're coming up on like 60 days in a couple days here. But yeah, shout out to everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow once again to continue the streak. All right, peace out, boys.